name's Joash Teo. I am the designer behind Joash Teo, and I'm also a designer who is under their 4th year at QT Fashion Design. The collection is about really envisioning, or I suppose materializing these dark emotions into a physical corporal form. So the way I envision them is kind of, well, something that's constrained but also quite elegant. So that really goes back to all the 3-dimensional silhouettes that I have. The dark emotions that I keep talking about were really reflective of my own struggles with depression and current struggles of anxiety. Signature feature as a designer, I think it's very much the idea of that guarded femininity, because I think really with all my silhouettes and all my creations, there is that element, like a very tactile strength. It almost some of it looks like armor, some of it looks like a reinforced spine. It teeters that balance between that kind of masculine strength with that tailoring, but also this elegant femininity. These are just some of the outfits from the collection, and I think these ones kind of will really sum up what really the techniques that I use for the collection are. So there's a lot of drapering, but also contrasted against like a more informed tailoring. This one was actually quite a long and quite a technical challenge to really have, because really when I was draping and smocking all these different fabrics, it was all more solid wools and more I guess hardier fabrics. Whereas I was layering organza with this, so there's actually 2 layers. There's a black overlay, and then there's a gold underlay as well to kind of play with that dimension, especially when it moves and when it shines. So all these little tacks here are just really trying to help it hold its shape and help it maintain this architectural curve in the front. And then the back as well even went through just a couple redrapes. I mean, right now it's this little kind of conical shape that really, it reminds you of like a big bustier or like a big corset. But it used to be these big, massive wings that jut out from the back and then trailed off.
How do you want people to feel when wearing your designs?
Have their minds blown. No, what I really want them to feel is really curious, I think, because I think all of my designs have such great technical consideration, technical exploration into them, because it reflects my interests. I really love sewing, I really, really do, and I want my clothes to reflect the fact that I love sewing and pushing things. So, you know, curious, in awe, reaching for their wallet. I think with a collection, it's like running a marathon. You not only have to keep yourself, I suppose, mentally and physically fit to keep going, you also have to really try to keep falling in love with your collection. And like best case now, you fall in love so much, you want to keep pushing it to its most perfect and final form. But even then, saying that, you can fall in love with it so much that you have so many ideas that you're just drowning in it, and you lose any sort of like real world logistics, like, you know, walking, do you want to sell it later? How are you going to move it to, say, a gallery, or, you know, get things set up if you want to take this further on as well. And I thought the best way to start is to really start with yourself. I didn't want to have this whole statement of politics or statement of environment or anything like that I can't relate to, or I just would get tired of pushing and pushing. I just thought, okay, if I'm trying to essentially marry and find myself in this, I think you start with something raw and personal. I think if you ever start with anything raw and personal, it'll always like transform into something that's incredibly like compelling, I think. Hopefully people find it like that. If not, then it's just like, why is there so much black? And I'll be like, I'll tell you later. I really do want to take steps to further expand my business and further expand my brand into something that's more substantial and workable. I definitely in the future see myself in Paris, because I really want to go back to Paris, and I feel like I creatively get very inspired when I go back there. So if I can have operations there, it would be fantastic. But again, life, you know, you have to be flexible, and I think if I end up working as a machinist or a designer for, say, another brand, local or international, I think I'd really be happy. If I can sew 9 to 5 and make enough to eat, I'm happy. I hate when people say couture about everything. Cause I actually do study couture sewing. So when people look at a t-shirt and say, oh, that's so couture, I'm like, no, it's just a t-shirt. They just throw the word couture around when no, couture is supposed to be something really, really special. It's a really honored word. You have to be chosen to be able to use that word.